But if I look at your report card grades right now, if I look at your report card grades right now, do I see a prisoner or do I see a business owner? Do I see a homeless man or do I see an engineer? Are you serious about your future? Our sisters, they focusing on their business, they focusing on their education, and you worrying about rap and basketball. Understand, you have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a professional athlete or entertainer. So when I ask you what you want to be when you done school, I don't want to hear nothing about no sports. Because when I go speak in the prisons, half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next Kobe. I was going to highlight him for a few minutes.
Oh my God, yes please, Dr. Umar.
Over young people. Something really important for y'all to start thinking about right now. And that is, what is the purpose of your life? The prophet Nat Turner, he knew the purpose of his life. You got to find out what yours is. I'm a school psychologist. I evaluate children your age for special education eligibility. It's my job to decide if you're autistic, if you're reading disabled, if you're comprehension disabled, math disabled, if you're intellectually disabled, if you're emotionally disturbed. That's what I do for a living. And I'm very disgusted and disappointed with my young sisters and my young brothers because you are no longer taking your academics seriously. You are playing into a trap of the American white power structure to put you in poverty for my young ladies, in prison for my young men. Let me say something to you. You might play basketball, and that's all right. You might play football, and that's all right. You might be a track star, you might be an entertainer, you might be a musician, and that's all right. But I want you to understand something. Basketball is an activity. Basketball is not your identity. Football is an activity. Football is not your identity. Rap and singing is an activity. That is not your identity. And when I say it is not your identity, I'm asking you to look deeper within yourself and find out the purpose for why God sent you here. Because every one of us has a reason for being here. I don't care who your mom is, who your dad is, whether you was born rich or poor, whether you had one parent, two parents, or no parents, you have a purpose. Find and fulfill your purpose. Stop wasting your time and stop think you're getting over by not taking your schoolwork seriously. There's something called black excellence. We used to have it as a people. We're losing our sense of black excellence. We become very average. We become very mediocre. We become very plain. We're no longer interested in being the best at what we do. My brothers, I don't have to tell you, everything in this society is organized to trap you, but you don't have to become a victim if you decide not to be. But if I look at your report card grades right now, if I look at your report card grades right now, do I see a prisoner or do I see a business owner? Do I see a homeless man or do I see an engineer? Are you serious about your future? Because guess what? When you apply to trade school and when you apply to college, they're going to see every grade you earn from 9th through 12th. Let me say that again. They're going to see every grade you earn from 9th through 12th. What do them 9th grade grades look like? What do them 10th grade grades look like? What do them 11th and 12th grade grades look like? And if you're still in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th, well, guess what? You better get focused. Because when you get to high school, the games is over. Now, let me say this to you. If college is not for you, that's all right. I went to college because I wanted to be a psychologist since I was 8, 9 years old. I'm glad I did what I did. I got my doctorate. That's my life. But if you don't want to be something that requires a college education, that's all right. Firefighters Association. We don't have enough black people in the Firefighters Association. So some of you might want to become firefighters. Good job, good pay, good retirement. But my point is, we can't go to jail. That's going to mess your whole record up. You go to jail, you get one charge, and you're going to be shut out half the opportunities in life. So get serious, because we got a lot of young sisters who are focused. And the problem with the young sisters who are focused, it's going to be hard for them to find a young man in their 20s and 30s who is focused. Our sisters, they focusing on their business, they focusing on their education, and you weren't about rap and basketball. Understand, you have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a professional athlete or entertainer. Let me say it one more time. You have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a professional athlete or entertainer. So when I ask you what you want to be when you done school, I don't want to hear nothing about no sports. Because when I go speak in the prisons, half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next Kobe. Half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next Michael Vick. Half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next LeBron James. And then when they found out they were not good enough, although everybody told them they were, it shattered their whole world. And you know what they started doing? Stealing cars, hustling credit cards, robbing people, living off their mama. That's not going to be you. Because starting today, we're going in a new direction. I'm going to tell you one more thing and I'm going to be quiet. Y'all not reading enough. The reason black children are scoring so low on these tests, you're not reading enough. Every one of you should be reading a book a week in addition to what the school requires of you. I'm going to say that again. Every one of you should be reading a book a week in addition to what your school requires of you. If you ain't been to the public library in the past month, you behind. Some of y'all ain't been to the public library in the past year. You behind. And the reason I need you to read, because I don't go nowhere without 4 books. I don't go nowhere without 4 books. 6 college degrees, I don't go nowhere without 4 books. Because knowledge is not power, but it is a key to power. And you need to be reading, because when you read, you improve your vocab. When you read, you improve your ability to talk. When you read, you improve your knowledge of facts and information. And when you read, you improve your ability to write. You know when that's going to matter? When you take them state assessments they give you in school. When you take them state assessments they give you in school. The reason the Chinese and the white kids are outperforming us, they're not more intelligent than you. I give intelligence tests for a living. They're not more intelligent than you. I give intelligence tests for a living. They are not more intelligent than you. They work harder than you. They study harder than you. They believe in excellence, and they read more than they on social media. They read more than they playing video games. They read more than they practicing basketball, football, and rap. So I'm going to end this. But I expect more from every one of you going forward. My kings and my queens. My princes and my princesses. On Monday, 4 days ago, I was in Jamaica, keynoting Marcus Garvey's birthday. Marcus Garvey and Nat Turner have a small connection. Nat Turner was born before Marcus Garvey. He was born 1800. Marcus Garvey wasn't born until much later. But Marcus Garvey purchased a school from Nat Turner's grandson. And that became one of the schools of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the largest black organization in modern history that gave us the red, black, and green flag. So when I was speaking to the young people in Kingston, Jamaica Monday, I told them the same thing I'm telling you now. Stop playing with your future. Because guess what? The older you get, the faster your life gonna go. Today you 13. You wake up, you're gonna be 18. You wake up, you're gonna be 21. You wake up, you're gonna be 30. Wake up again, you're gonna be 40. The older you get, the faster your life goes, which means Dr. Umar wants you to have your life already laid out by the time you're 25 or 30. By the time you're 25 or 30, you should be done with your college, done with your trade school. You should be buying your first house, and you should be looking for your wife or looking for your husband. That's all you should be doing. Not coming out of jail, not looking for a place to stay, not looking for a minimum wage job. Because let me explain something to you. If you don't do something with your life after high school, you will make minimum wage for the rest of your life. All of y'all from Virginia? What's the minimum wage in Virginia, about roughly? $9 an hour. Minimum wage, what is it? $12.50. $12.50. Let me ask you a question. If you don't do nothing with your life after high school, you will make $12.50 for the rest of your life an hour. Can you pay rent with that? Can you pay a car note with that? Can you raise a baby with that? Can you pay your cell phone bill with that? Can you take your lady out with that? Can you pay your insurance with that? So if you're making $12.50 an hour for the rest of your life, that means you're going to have to also be a what? Part-time criminal. Criminals are not born, they are made by people who didn't tell them when they was your age to stop playing with your life, or you'll spend the rest of your life in a prison or on the street struggling to get by. But if you go to trade school, if you go to college, if you go to real estate school, you'll make a whole lot more than $12.50 an hour. See, the difference between a job and a career is what? What's the difference between a job and a career? A job, they tell you what to do. They don't care what you think or how you feel. You do what I tell you to do. That's a job. You know what a career is? A career is when they ask you to use your intelligence, use your training, use your experience, use your knowledge to impact what you do. You see that? A job, they tell you what to do. A career, they want you to decide how to do this job and how to solve this problem. When you work a job, you got to punch the clock. Punch the clock when you come to work, punch the clock when you go out of work. When you have a career, you don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the year. You get paid by the month. They don't care if you was on the job 40 hours or 20 hours. Did you do the work? Because they're trusting your intelligence, your knowledge, and your expertise. I don't want you to have a job. I want you to have a career. I'm going to close with a quote from the Honorable Marcus Garvey. And I see you have His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I on your shirt, one of our greatest Pan-Africanists. I was with my Rastafari brothers in Kingston, in Jamaica this past weekend and on Monday. Marcus Garvey said, without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Without confidence in yourself, knowing who you are and why you're here, you're twice defeated. But with confidence, you have won before you have ever started. I know I'm the best psychologist that ever lived. I know it. I know I'm the best black school psychologist that ever existed. I know it. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Not arrogance, not pride, honest truth. And I want you to get that within you because God made you great. And this skin color we got, this is not a badge of shame. This is a badge of pride. That blackness, that's energy. That blackness, that's power. And don't you ever walk around asking anybody else to validate who you are. You got to walk in the room already knowing. You don't go asking white folks to validate your blackness. You walk into the room already knowing what your blackness is. Harriet Tubman said, Queen Mother Harriet Tubman said, I freed hundreds of slaves. I freed hundreds of slaves. I could have freed more. The problem was, they didn't even know that they were slaves. Black power.
Yes, God. We send us to tour.